Alright, we're back to the nobles.
Nobles.
After an extended period of time, the steward comes kind of hurrying up, and it's obvious that he's not perturbed that he's been disturbed, but he feels like, he's getting pulled in a million directions. And he apologizes. He says, Sir, I'm so sorry. Your man was asking to look at some of the wares.
Oh, yes, indeed. I set up there to ascertain some quality of your wood products. Yes, just excellent.
And he just, how can he be of assistance?
Well, I'd greatly appreciate it. Me and my fellows here, my fellow escorts, so to speak, would like to tour the grounds to kind of look around and get the lay of the land. Look at your this family estate. Blah 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 blah.
As for the grounds proper, obviously I would prefer to wait until morning. Hopefully the storm has subsided.
Yeah, of course.
However, the house itself, I can give you a more formal tour.
Absolutely.
And he begins in the west wing. I'm going to assume you're near the hub.
Mm-hmm.
In the west wing, as you pass the stairwells, he says the second floor is for the Lord and the steward and the chamberlain and our families.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we ask that you don't go there, but that's just...
I'm going to have left the lion in our room.
Okay.
So you don't prance around with a lion. You could
Um,
potentially snark his way through.
But as you travel the west wing, it's primarily there's various dining rooms. There's a very large kitchen, which kitchen staff bustling, obviously preparing the evening meal for the staff. And go ahead.
Looking at the women. Any sleuts? Sleuth sense.
There's no girls that look better than the girl that you saw already.
All right, good enough. Continue on.
You will do.
I mean, there's the obvious
Self-esteem sense. Let's go with that.
there's the obvious like
Scullery
old
maid.
maid that's she's kind of directing
How many
traffic.
teeth does she have?
Less the better.
If you put a 2 and a 6 together, maybe it will match up. Okay.
Whatever meal they're preparing is almost ready, and even the steward says, if you'd like to partake in the meal, just let us know. And there's multiple dining rooms as you're walking through. There's the grand dining room, which is obvious for
That's a good question.
a large staff, a large host,
Mm-hmm.
where 100 people could easily sit in this dining room. But then there's smaller, for parties of 20 or even smaller, where it's more of a personable dining chambers.
I inquire about Jacqueline.
Jaqueline?
Yeah. Is she planning on
Jacqueline.
dining?
Ah,
How long has she been here?
Well,
she
be nice.
tends to.
Hey,
Take it in her chambers.
No, she tends to kind of during good weather she would be found in the back garden. She loves to sit in the back garden, unless of course
The jury.
the Paley, the bard is performing, and then she's
For an hour and a half with Lawrence.
very interested in his works. But she will likely be in one of the private dining chambers taking her meal.
Tell me more about this bard.
The bard, Paley arrived with a group not that long ago. Many chose to return and report on what they had discovered. Some chose to stay and remain in the gracious court of the Lord.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's very much interested in the adulation of those who he performs for.
I rolled a nat 20 to 26 on sense motive to see if he's lying about people leaving.
Oh, he's not lying about people leaving.
Okay.
And maybe people just died.
They might have got killed by the ogres, yeah.
That's why they never came back.
That's not
This
that
would
great,
not
but
mean they're buried on the ground.
13 diplomacy to kind of just notice that he's working very hard, and it must not be that easy to manage such a large household as this. Just very just off the cuff kind of comment, but
Right. And he's, he appreciates that you notice his hard work. The house means the world to him, and working for the Lord means the world to him. And by this point, you've come back to the tea. You've seen most of the East Wing, but he says, I'd be more than happy to show you the North. And as you travel down the hallway, it's a lot of parlors and just chambers for interacting. You pass what would roughly be kind of a theater with a stage. And he points that out as, the bard often performs there. Some of the cook staff will work the bar, and sometimes things will get a little bit rowdy. For someone of your higher level of entertainment, it might be a little bit low cup for you. And you continue down the hallway, and as you go along, there's also a door that leads into a large gallery, and it's filled with various art, portraits, and ranging in all levels.
anything interesting about portraits? Anything that leads to clues?
As far as when you look in, you just can kind of see that there's portraits on the wall, there's art objects, and they're of varying levels of quality. Some of them look very fine art. Some of them are a little bit lesser. And the steward points out that the Lord himself fancies himself a little bit of an artist. So there's a lot of his art
Number 6.
shown in there as well.
Okay.
And at the very end of the hall just ends into a grand chamber, 2 stories tall, just huge. And he explains that this is where the Lord entertains, large parties, and he throws opulent balls in this grand chamber.
As we're walking through, I'm gonna keep note to myself. I rolled a nat 20 on my detect, kind of look for secret doors or anything that would seem would look like stand out as I'm taking note.
There's nothing that is necessarily overtly secretive, and as far as you rolled a sense motive earlier, well, you did. The steward is being very genuine about everything he's saying.
Okay. If there's nothing to go forward with the tours, if there's nothing I'm going to find out, we can conclude this portion.
All right, and after completing it, he returns and he says, if there's anything else that you have interest in, obviously I'd be more than happy to show it.
He's like, I just was curious about what time the bar perform, even though it might be a little bit beneath me. I appreciate a good rowdy do every now and again.
Typically after dinner.
Oh, thank you. What time is dinner?
Now.
Dinner should be served in the next 20 to 25 minutes.
Excellent, my good man. Thank you for your time.
And the steward once again scurries off.
Goddamn fucking people, I got shit to do. God.
Hopefully sighing with relief, I hope that is it.
What a fucking tool.
Alright, I'm gonna go one more cycle through everything, and then we'll assume it's time for the meal.
Okay.
So, attic folk. You guys are up in the attic.
Hey, do you have to start secret doors, I hope?
That's a wizard spell.
No,
I don't know, magic.
Person, I'm gonna go find the
Can I look for anything
right
the master guy.
like dust
and
that's
have
been
him meet me
moved
in the
around the
library.
floor?
Then I don't go to the library.
It's not really dusty.
Okay.
I'm running around.
Because he's not like
It's well kept.
Just
the
like
entire
every
house has
different
been
portion.
pretty
Any
immaculate.
scuff marks on the floor that seem
Request to have
unusual.
the steward at the same
Not
time.
really, no.
Steward.
I mean,
that's what
there's-
I was looking for.
There's spots where it's obvious that something has been moved,
Well, yeah.
and then moved, and then returned, and then moved and returned.
Dust never lies.
Well then, okay, the only
Is
thing
there
I'm really
anything
good
on-
at is
well, it's
concentration, so I'm just going to look at something and concentrate really hard.
Fair enough.
So it's just
I'm
eaves,
gonna
no
look
flat
at
walls.
No flat. Well, I mean, you'd eventually get. There'd be a flat wall on the far side because I mean, it's not like this attic just spans the entire house.
Right.
It's just a room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a 16 for search and just look around if I can.
No, that's fine.
Just see if I can, like, just try things, see if there's any, like, hidden passageway.
Look for candelabras. Like,
Yeah.
You poke around and nothing unusual.
Okay. Take that at face value? Oh boy.
And after some time, a guard comes up and just kind of is, what are you doing here?
Trenzel.
I tell him.
Comes up into the attic.
Oh, hey.
Hey, what's up, dude?
I just say we're searching or
Inspecting,
we're
looking at furniture.
yeah, we're looking
Looking
to purchase.
for
Yeah.
see this leg?
Guano.
Nice leg.
Here.
We're looking to purchase for a lord.
Fine.
I'm trying to bluff.
I'm not even gonna bluff. Huh?
That's
I was up
it.
here looking at furniture for a lord.
Okay, never mind that. Let's go with that then.
And you can see him kind of toss it over, and he goes, "Well, how did you get in?"
I have the key. The steward gave it to me, and he went off for some other stuff because we're taking so long looking at things. He got tired of waiting.
He looks at the key, and you can see he's kind of processing things. And fair enough. There was no sign of forced entry or anything.
We're
Well,
almost done.
should you
here.
need anything, I'll wait here.
All right, we're almost done. Move on to the end of the hall and act like we're looking at the last pieces of furniture at the end there. Guess we're done.
I heard it bounce twice.
All right. So
It's over there.
as you're continuing to inspect
Mhm.
furniture, there's an audible tone. A bell is rung, and you can see the guard is kind of like,
Dinner time.
Dog getting fed.
Dinner bell.
What's that bell?
it signifies the meal is being
Oh,
served.
don't let
I
us
was-
hold you back from your meal, sir.
Alas, my duty is to ensure that.
Of course.
things are locked up.
After I say that, I look at the last piece. We'll inform our lord of what we've found here and move on. Hand him the key. Leave.
Oh, okay.
Pocket it.
He thanks you and follows you guys out, and he relocks it and he puts the key into a pouch and more so than anyone you've seen here, kind of scurries towards the west wing.
When you say scurry, I just picture like a rat, like you acting like a rat, just
Heads and shit.
skittering along.
Everybody's a ghoul.
Anything else from you guys?
No. I'm gonna go to my room. First one on the left.
Okay.
Shut the door.
Go eat.
I'll
Tell
go
the
to my
clerk to
room.
go off on his own.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
Tired of looking at furniture, you dumbass.
I'm busy.
Wasting my goddamn
Clark.
time.
I guess I go to my room too.
Okay, so nobody is going to eat.
I don't
Got
want
it.
anything
Well,
to eat. I don't trust these
I'll
people.
stop in my room is what I mean.
Okay.
And
I'm not.
I'll take off. I assume I still have my armor on, so I'll take that
I
off.
would guess, yeah.
Yeah. I'll get ready for dinner.
Okay. And then you're going to travel.
Yes, I'll travel to the main hall.
Do I telepathically talk to my lion at all? Is that part of my thing or no?
Must be physical
Yo, bro,
contact.
what's up?
At times you can speak to each other telepathically. However, most times it has to be at close range.
Okay.
Wait, do you
At least as of right now.
Right.
you communicate through growls?
He speaks common.
So that's them.
Oh,
Second.
number
Now
one for
what?
me. Number one for me.
It's over here. And actually, it was 10%. So it was
Hold
the
on.
number one.
Hold on.
You don't have good
Um,
luck with percentiles.
No, it's the worst.
You continue to remain out watching. You hear the bell.
Was that the bell?
You hear the bell, and
Good bell.
you're watching, and shortly after the bell, you see several people exit. To be determined who's going to exit the servants' quarters, and probably 15 to 20 minutes after the bell, you see basically what would be the guard shift. You see several guards travel into that you haven't seen, travel from the servants' quarters into the house, and several guards from, several guards from in the house travel back out to the quarters. Guy, as you're moving across the grounds, from the east to the west, on the north end of the building, you see a very expansive stone block patio, obviously used for entertaining guests. There are a handful of chairs and tables still set up on it, but most of them have been tucked up against the building. It's getting later in the year. Not as many people spend time out on the patio. And as you pass this, roll listen.
You hear unearthly screams.
21.
You hear a bell from inside the house.
Dang!
Dang bang!
It's actually just a simple turn down. Dang! Bang!
Can I see him from where I'm at?
He's hiding.
Okay.
You're not going to see him at all. It's pretty dark out at this point, and it's a storm. So, seeing much of anything other than the buildings and people moving in obvious light is going to be pretty difficult.
Okay.
And the fact that
I'm
you're
gonna continue to make my
red.
way west because I don't know what the bell is.
So,
But
and the fact that they're both
So you continue around, and I'm assuming you're moving fairly cautiously, trying to stay kind of hidden. And you eventually find yourself within visual sight of the servants' quarters, and you see several guards entering the servant, or what appears to be entering on the south end of the servants' quarters. You're kind of more up on the north end, and that's where we'll leave you off. You're a rogue.
Do something.
Not a whole lot of useful information is being passed around the table, unless you're going to stir up conversation on some topic.
I'll just ask the. What? How am I doing? Like, am I losing badly or am I winning? Or like
It's
back
it's
and forth?
pretty square. I mean, nobody's losing their asses. Nobody is winning a whole ton. It's kind of back and forth.
Okay, then I'll
Somebody is
I'll
getting
work-
some asses.
get the air room in there of. You guys are pretty good. You must make a good amount of money for one another.
It's more about the camaraderie.
Thrill of
The
the game.
amounts that are won or lost is paltry. It just gives us an opportunity to get away and let loose a little bit. The Lord may not approve of it if he cares at all about what goes on here, but
I can appreciate that. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to travel too much.
and what,
Stop.
while you're
It's really
talking,
good.
a- what you would assume to be a guard, not armored, but a muscular individual says, "The dinner bell has just sounded if you guys are interested." And he turns and leaves. And you can see that the captain of the guard is pretty. He's not like,
He's not
ooh, this is the greatest thing ever, but the other guards are very much like, they kind of like gather up their winnings and they're like, well, it's time to get some grub. And the blacksmith as well. The ostler just, in passing just says, well, I guess we're calling it a night for tonight. The wife will be happy for me to be home early. And kind of gathers up his coin. And the ostler, the blacksmith, and the two other guards exit. And the captain of the guard is just kind of sitting there just staring at you.
7.
Okay.
And after some awkward silence, he just said, will you be joining us for dinner?
As I said, I suppose I will take my leave back then. Shall I?
And he's got this really stern face on. And he just lets it kind of a chuckle and goes, ha ha, come on, let's go get some grub.
Right. You're one of them.
Belleville, you would see Mark come out as well with the captain of the guard.
Do I see this guy approach?
Yeah, you can see him to the north as well.
Shoot him with an arrow. I'm over here. Fuck you.
So, you're at the meal.
Okay.
who's left? Jorgendal. Jorgendal is getting belligerently drunk, but there's no one there,
Yeah.
so he might be breaking some mugs, and
He may have peed in the plant.
it could have happened.
Are we gonna go to the meal?
I think so.
Okay. So
Fact-finding mission.
you guys hear the bell as well.
Time to go to the meal.
Food.
And as you move down, Mark's cleric is standing kind of just in the hallway, obviously waiting for a lead. You see Mark's rogue go with the captain of the guard, and they're kind of, whatever. The captain of the guard is very jovial, and they step into a chamber that's, when you passed, was much more mundane. But that would be the only people that you see.
Okay. Been really low in servants around. That's the odd thing. How are they getting about? Anyways, make my way to the. That's just the inner monologue.
Where are you taking your dinner? What
main-
type of chamber are you going to take your dinner?
Main. If there's like wherever they have like the. I'm not obviously not gonna eat with the servants.
Right.
So
Are you going to find like one of the larger dining halls? Are you going to find like a private room?
is there a private room adjacent to the lady, the bitchy lady?
Near the kitchen? You want to find a private room near the kitchen,
Yeah.
or near the old?
Yes.
You haven't seen the noble.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just go to the main room.
You enter, and kitchen staff obviously seats you and brings a plethora of various wines and ales and water. Places it on the table. There's fresh cooked bread. It's a very impressive spread. And they bring in plates of various local fares and some exotic, and you can smell exotic spices in it. Obviously, Tomadril has some experience as far as world traveling a little bit, and he can identify some of it as not normally, someone of lesser status may not
Appreciate it.
or have even heard or seen it.
Okay.
It's obvious the meal is very fine.
Just go. Gingerly look at my meal, I guess, and partake. I don't know if anything's gonna happen. So considering that we're just dining alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Is it poison?
No.
Yes.
I rolled a 19.
did your clerk go with them, or?
So I was gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm here too.
Good knowledge.
Nothing's happening. I don't know. I'm waiting for the Lord, or waiting for this hoot nanny.
Playing a game. Playing
Robot, you're in your room.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hanging out in your room.
You baiting? This
I'm gonna
obviously
go
should be.
to the north.
To the
be.
north.
To the north.
You're
I
gonna
wanted to go check out the maze.
you're gonna go in the
In a
storm.
storm?
In the storm, in the maze.
Let someone know you're going in there.
Nah.
Okay, so Robot finds his way out towards the maze.
Alright.
Knock it off.
It's not gonna happen.
That seems
You
fun.
can tell that the maze is very large.
It's amazing.
Just don't acknowledge it. So everybody, if you just ignore it, it'll go away eventually.
If it was made of corn, it'd also be amazing.
tried out with
You
her.
think so? You think so?
Doesn't work that way.
Is there a? Well, it's stormy now. Probably don't want to be. Well, there.
You don't know whether
Do
you should.
there's no one out here. Kind of. I'm looking around.
No one that you see.
All right. Is there like a vine trellis that I can climb up?
Nothing that. I mean, you could try to climb the hedges, I guess, but that probably.
Meant
No,
to
I was
gathering
just gonna try and see if I could see above the maze
I
and
don't know what
see how
that was,
close.
so we're just not gonna tempt fate.
From your room, you could see some extent. I mean, not detail,
Mm-hmm.
but you could tell that it's very expansive.
Mm.
What's it called? Comedy of
This
errors.
is gonna be fun. Should probably go in there.
So robot's going in the maze.
Going in the maze.
All right, robot has gone into the maze.
Hey,
Never be found again.
See ya.
We'll
I'm
see
gonna
you in
stick to the left.
We'll see you in a couple sessions.
Just stick to the right when you come back out.
Roll percentile.
Hack it up.
Our prize has made no. Destroys it for everything.
100.
100%. All right, you're still not lost.
Never rolled triple zeros ever. God. damn.
Roll a spot.
You see the Minotaur.
Let's see the Minotaur.
No,
Bring it
he
on.
doesn't finds the gem.
Spot is wisdom based?
Yes.
2.
2. Okay. You don't see anything, but you're not lost in the maze. You know at least how you got to where you're at.
Alright.
Belleville, after seeing the guard shift, you're still outside in the rain.
How many doors did they go through? So the main entrance, did they go any side doors or anything?
No, they came out of the south entrance on the servants' quarters and entered the west entrance of the...
Speaking of storm.
So this giant building has one door on it?
No, it has multiple doors, but they
all
they
went
traveled a very set path.
Went straight to the west entrance?
Went into the west entrance. Drunk Jorganol. Roll a d20. Tell me what the result is.
14.
In your drunkenness, one thing of note, just duly noted, there was no footmen on shift at the entrance gate to the south. Neither here nor there.
Moment of clarity.
What?
Oh shit! Better have
probably
another
forgets
ale.
Fuck, I'm starting to think clearly. Back to drinking.
Yep.
Instant sober.
Minute of harmonious drunk.
Yeah, but they're still back inside, so I'm gonna go back to the gate.
To the south gate?
Yes.
Okay.
Just watch the south gate.
You arrive at the south gate. The gate is closed now, and there is a guard. Just a footman
If somebody
standing next to
notices
the
you,
gate.
that's just gonna be creepy as hell to see the guy
Just
wander
7 foot elf.
Just come out of nowhere.
He's human.
Oh, he's human?
Even worse.
Yeah. Hi. Oh, no, he can't even do that. He just.
Well, you know what makes it even better is now it's getting to be nighttime, so there isn't a whole lot of light left.
It's right out of the bushes, like.
There is a footman at the gate. He's under kind of just a roof basically to keep out of the rain. He's got a torch, and you can see he's kind of not pleased to be on shift, but
I gesture that I want to go outside the gate. Will he open it?
sure.
Go outside.
He's very confused at your hand gestures, but he eventually kind of pieces things together, and he opens the
Just
gate.
like
The gate. God, peace off.
Oh, dear me.
No, and he opens the gate for you. You're gonna go looking for Francis Stark.
I'm gonna find the
It's
kennel.
dark, you won't find
You're
him.
gonna go to the kennels. Okay.
To the puppies.
So you come to the kennels. It's basically it's not a huge building, but as you approach, dogs all start barking and
Crazy.
you can hear a voice inside. Shut up, you mutts! Grumbling.
Sounds like us.
I'm gonna be like, hello, Francis.
Hello, Francis.
Ajax.
Can I have a soda?
Yes.
He needs one after that.
I knew he gets another donut, but
Right here. You're right there.
I know, but I couldn't eat fucking 14 donuts in a night, so. He opens the door and he goes, huh? Go away, I have no time for visitors.
Shoot a dog.
Shoot.
That escalated quickly.
You got time now?
Slams the door back shut.
Can I tell anything about him in that brief moment that he opened the door?
He's a dick.
He's human. He's average height. He does
Slime
look
ball.
greasy. Looks like he probably doesn't bathe.
Rolls around in the hay with the mutts. It's your diplomacy.
I don't think I even have it. Yeah.
Charisma based.
Yeah,
so.
-2.
Hope you roll high.
Just look through the window. Fog up the window. Make sure he knows that you're looking at him through the window.
Right high in it,
With the smiley face.
but backwards so you can read it.
Right.
I'm
And
just
then
gonna try
do
it
the
again. I'm just
Titanic.
gonna knock on the door and be like, Francis, a moment, please.
Once again, this time he doesn't even open the door. He goes, "It's the middle of the damn night and there's a storm rolling. I've got work to do in the morning. Go away.
Alright. You mind if I come back tomorrow, perhaps?
Come back whenever you damn well like, but just don't make it tonight."
Very well. Thank you.
Fair enough.
The most cordial ranger ever.
You're super kind to him.
May I call upon you on the morrow?
Everybody else was at a meal. After the meal is over, the kitchen staff
Poor
pulls
Al's
the
gonna
plates
miss
away
out.
and kind of cleans up, and
I'm munching on a
you
trailer.
can hear the
Gross.
faint strumming of a lute from somewhere in the.
You hear a slight off-key note.
And Mark, from where you're at with the captain of the guard, you hear the kind of just the notes on the wind, kind of, and you see the captain of the guard roll his eyes, and he goes, "Damn bard's playing again. Gonna be a long night for us." And he excuses himself, and
They all leave or just him?
well, everybody. I mean, you were basically
Understand.
sitting with him. It's
Okay.
more of a relaxed atmosphere of small tables, and
Okay.
your meal was not this magnificent spread. It wasn't bad food, but
Yeah. It's decent. Okay.
it was just average fare.
Guess I'll
Servant's food.
take my leave and head back to the room.
You're going back to your room.
Yeah.
Where's your cleric going?
Did she wait?
She ate with them.
Yeah.
She's with us.
What? Wait. So what are you guys doing at the last?
So you're gonna follow their lead. Basically, you're gonna
Yeah.
operate with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I would. Be
Jorgendal,
separated, so.
who is very drunk, hears the notes.
Great.
Commodre's playing.
Yeah, he's gonna stumble his way over there.
Just assume.
Yep.
Take the cake with you.
What the hell is that fucker doing now?
He's going to arrive obviously before the rest of you guys, even if you hurry there,
Yeah.
because he's not that far away. And upon arriving, there's a bard on stage, just kind of not performing yet, but strumming a lute, and there is
Human
an
bard?
older. Yes. Wait, let me just verify that.
Just come in and be like,
No.
that's not the fucker
elf.
I want.
Who the fuck are you? What are you doing with my tomatrill?
Yes, a human bard. There's also an older human woman
Oven door.
sitting at a small table very close to the stage, and standing next to her perfectly still is a very gaunt man who is just stoical. Additionally, at another table is someone who probably has got a kind of a military background, and also a couple of the kitchen staff, and there's some guards hanging out.
Jorgendal's gonna stumble up to a table on his own and plop down with a audible play bang on with his mug that he took from the other area.
The mug and splash ale
Yeah.
around. He's gonna get some dirty looks, but nothing major. I mean, he's not the first dwarf to show up here.
Yeah.
So what are the rest of you doing?
we're just on our way there. Huh?
Tomadril can't help but go for either purposes of
His own ego.
yeah.
Alright, I'll follow along too. Well, let's see this beard.
I'm feeling the stone stuff.
Cormac is walking behind a little ways, kind of acting guard-y, but also like carrying himself very like high and mighty
Right.
with his shiny armor.
I will see them
Polished it.
trying to act regal, and I'll also like stiffen up a little bit and just act a little more a little more refined.
Okay.
Just try to play the part.
Right.
You arrive, and by this point, the bard Jorgendal is a little bit rowdy at the table, but not excessively so. He's attracted some attention from the guards, but and the woman is just enamored and glued to every word that's coming out of the bard's mouth.
Is there any type of magic on this bard's abilities, just in case? As a fellow songman, I'm gonna sense Arcana. Roll a 22.
Your knowledge arcana does not reveal any. There would be nothing magical about what he's doing. He's not. His motions or the words he's speaking are not necessarily tied.
Is he
to
just
magic.
what instrument is he playing? Lute?
He's just playing a lute.
Singing like a what type of song is it? Is it like an epic ballad? Is
He's
Stairway to Heaven?
singing
Yeah.
a song
it no Stairway to
about
Heaven?
the travels of a party of adventurers.
Cashmere.
You stole my song?
No, this is just it's a party of 5 adventurers and going out in the land
Is he
and
prettier than me?
oh, he's prettier than you,
Damn it!
but more in like the feminine pretty way. I guess
Wow.
Interesting.
Tomadril is a little bit femmy, I guess too, but
Yeah.
Suddenly you no longer have a rivalry, you have
Possible
infatuation.
conquest.
Yes.
I'm gonna walk up to the table that the lady is at, the spice trader.
yes.
Do a very formal introduction of myself and ask if she would mind if I join, because she clearly has the best seat of the house.
She glares at you, but given the kind of noble
Propriety.
the noble way you present yourself, she says, of course, just do not disturb me during this immaculate performance.
I wouldn't know about that, but how good is he?
We'll see.
He's
Like
pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like my caliber good, or
He will rock your socks off.
You'll have to wait and see the show before you.
He's Metallica
Alright.
and Megadeth.
okay.
But it's obvious that she has little interest in speaking
Conversing?
to you.
Okay.
She's completely locked on this.
Flash a look at these two and then look at Jorgendal. Like, he's very body.
I will look around the room and see if there's anybody else who seems of importance that I might go and
For
convert.
the most part, it's just it's
Just people
it's
watching.
obvious members of the staff. No one who's incredibly well dressed or
So the military guys.
the appearance is just guards, off-duty guards.
Okay, I'll stand back and watch. Away. I mean, I'll be nearby, but not
Right.
hovering.
Do I hear any poor notes?
Horn notes?
Yeah.
No. My listens is a 12.
Sorry, too much. Okay.
You're partially
I-
enamored.
Okay.
Did you see this one?
Okay, I say it
Yeah.
wrong.
Not. I mean, this is totally moving out of game. But a perform 34 is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I beat that? So let's find out.
And as he finishes his tale of adventures of this party, the crowd obviously applauds, but the noble woman is very, very vocal and very much just the fast clap.
I can not beat it. I can get 32, my highest. Doesn't mean he's gonna, and that doesn't mean he rolled a 20.
I know.
He might have a nice quality instrument too.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true.
Magical instrument adds
I don't know. I'm getting tired, so I'm running at my role playing abilities right now.
Should we pick up at the bar, since it's 10 o'clock and these guys have to get home? We pick up here in the next session. This is a good point to pick up.
lost in the hedge.
Not yet.
Shunned by Francis Dark.
Not yet.
That's true. I'm not yet lost.
Should we make note where we were
Huh?
last?
Yeah,
Or do you want to make note? Or?
I can make note here. Robot in hedge maze.
Dead? Question mark?
Not quite lost.
Will he survive? Stay tuned next week on the next Dragon Ball Z.
Far from lost, my friend. With 100, you're good.
Hot on the trail of the Gem of Hexter.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Get into his hedge maze.
Um,
I'm gonna.
of everybody thus far, Robot's probably the closest to a clue, or has come closest to
Got a
a clue.
wicked clue.
Wow.
Gotta listen to my instincts. I find things.
You're about to blow up with some wicked clue glue.
Yeah, I am.
If it's in a hedge maze, you're never going to find your way back out, so...
So what you're saying is that none of us are anywhere near it, and he's
Well,
just not as far away.
Tom and Rill could get clues from where he's at, and... You guys have been doing the right
Yeah,
thing,
don't
just
do that.
asking the wrong questions.
You can move some of the location after.
Haven't overtly asked about the gem.
Just like, hey, where's the
red
gem of Hexter at?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?